What's up, everyone? Welcome to Talkbox World. We're back with another episode, and we're talking about finding the right keyboard for you. There's a lot of different keyboard brands out there. You got Yamahas and Casios, Kurzweils and Rolands and Moogs and all kinds of stuff. And there's a lot of different ways that you can get around to finding the right sound, the right sound to fit you. And I'm going to talk about that in another episode. But basically, I'm just going to really be covering the physical aspects of the actual keyboard, because that's really important in the long run. You want to know whether, do you plan to, get out on the road with it, or is it kind of just something that you want to just have in the studio. So if you plan to, be running around going from stage to stage or studio to studio and traveling around on planes and buses and all that stuff, then there's a few things that you want to think about when you're looking for a keyboard, whether it be a USB keyboard or a keyboard with sounds in it. I'm going to kind of base things from my own setup. So what I have here is a Yamaha DX100. This is a real special one because this is one of the last types of keyboards that Roger Troutman used in his last days. So that was one of the things that makes this keyboard very special. But also, there are a few physical things that's going on about this keyboard that really makes it very useful and portable. First of all, it's really, really lightweight. It just takes nothing to lift it, carry it around. You can, lift it up with one hand, no problem. Second of all, it runs on batteries. And the fact that this runs on batteries is just amazing. That can be a lifesaver. It's C batteries. So it's not like you can just find it any old place, but if you kind of think ahead, and if you always have some C batteries on you, then that could really save a really terrible time. I've had those times before, so that really comes in handy sometimes. Also, the fact that they have these modulation and pitch wheels up here, the fact that they're here instead of on the side, it gives some sort of a different feel physically in terms of the way that you want to get engaged into whatever you're playing. So I feel like, if I have it here, I have to, kind of pay a little bit more attention to where my hand is going, where it's coming from, where it's going to. But here, it's a little bit more my peripheral vision, so I can see things a little bit better. And also, it was actually made with the purpose of it, being able to use as a shoulder keyboard, so you can have it with your, under your hand, over, you can hold under the keyboard. There's also these little things here on the side that you can have straps to as well. I'm missing one on the other side. It's old. It's from the 80s. And that's also a very special thing about it, that it is from the 80s, and it's came about during a crossover period, when things were kind of just going into this digital age. And so it's sort of like this mashup between analog and digital sound, digital programming with some kind of analog generators of some sort. And so that's the basic gist of how it works. Another great thing about it is also the fact that all the knobs and there's no knobs. Everything is just flat buttons. So that makes it really, really easy to take around with me. And also the keys are very small. So that's giving me 1, 2, 3, 4 octaves and a whole lot to work. I have big hands. So normally for some people that's annoying. But for me, I like that. That's an advantage. I can, get a big reach and go more than 1 octave. I can get almost 2 octaves out of that. So I can do a lot of interesting things that way. So there's a lot of great things about this particular model, the DX100. There's bigger versions of it if you like a bigger keyboard with the same kind of aesthetic to it. So you have the DX7 and the DX21, and it's basically just the same. It's the same, all three of them. They're just a little bit bigger or smaller. So that's the basic thing about the DX100. Some of the other things you might want to think about before you find the keyboard for you is, again, the keys, right? So is it spring-loaded keys? Are they weighted keys? Which one is which one feels better for you? I personally like the much more light spring-loaded keys, because then when you have with the weight on it, you need that extra little bit more time to get the note in, get the signal out, to get to the talk box, right? For you to form the signal or form the word or the song, right? So for me, I can be a little bit more percussive and, use more rhythms and things like that. So that's why I like the spring-loaded keys. Some people like the weighted keys. It's up to you. So those are different things you want to think about. You want to think about portability. You want to think about, how many different ways can you power it? Is it USB powered? Is it battery powered? You want to think about where the modulation wheels are, pitch and modulation wheels. You want to think about the knobs, things like that. How easy is it for you to take around? I carry my Talkbox in this Boss bag, which is actually made for guitar pedals, like a guitar pedal board. But it's big enough to house my keyboard. And the thing that's great about it is that I can stuff this thing with a whole bunch of clothes and then just put the keyboard in there, and then it's super safe. I take the keyboard bag and maybe stuff that into a big suitcase, have the Talkbox and the amplifier in another bag, have that next to the keyboard bag. Then I have a really, really safe travel setup for when I hit the road, right? So all these things you want to think about, and this is exactly what this show is for. I'm going to leave you guys with a little clip of one of my songs. It's called Temu's Talkbox Groove. If you like this show, definitely leave a comment, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. This is Talkbox World, and thanks for watching. Peace.
Make love to my woman in the morning. My breakfast in bed and it is the spot. Wake and bake by the sun through my window. The gust of the summer breeze feels so hot.